You've arrived at the Texas to Tennessee podcast, your home for your favorite independent artists and a couple of guys you've never heard of.
Who?
It was Texas, it was Tennessee. It was what I had coming to me. You were unlike anything.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Texas Tennessee podcast. We are Steveless again tonight. Y'all know how wild that can be without the podcast dad to keep everybody in line, right? So, but tonight, Steve's all bummed out because he's not able to make tonight's podcast too. But I'm glad that I'm here, and I'm glad that Aaron Stevens is here. Thanks for coming on the podcast, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
It's we've had like Zach Wilkerson. We've had as far as that kind of soulful side of the Texas music, and then Adam Hood and James Otto, and then we've had some actual blues bands in a band called the Cold Stairs. So we're not, it's not necessarily our bread and butter, but we like it when we have a chance to have some folks on, because it all goes hand in hand anyways.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. It's all from the same tree, you know?
Mm-hmm. So just take a minute and let everybody know who the hell you are.
Yeah, man, my name's Aaron Stevens, based here in the Central Texas area. I've been playing music around here in Texas for, 10 years plus now. It's been a long time, and I've been enjoying it. This is a great state to play music. There's a lot of, great artists. You mentioned some of my friends, earlier. Zach Wilkerson, good dude. Yeah, so, that's the great thing I love about it. The community here in Texas is real cool. There's a lot of real cool musicians, and once you meet one of them, you meet another one, and it becomes this cool circle of just friends and stuff. So I've enjoying that aspect of it. I got my start playing down in the Rio Grande Valley, down in McAllen, Texas. And I grew up playing in a high school band, messing around and doing the rock and roll thing, like everybody does growing up, getting started.
Mm-hmm.
And while also playing in church, while also doing the Sunday mornings and stuff like that too at the same time. So it's been a journey for sure. I've enjoyed it though, loved it.
Unofficially off the podcast, can you hear me and everything okay on your side? It was kind of being choppy.
It's sometimes the camera.
It's choppy.
Yeah, it'll get a little choppy.
Okay,
over here.
1 second. I'll have to edit this out like a real professional, but hang on 1 second.
Yeah.
Maybe. Are we?
There you go. It's a little more clear now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I saw that it was glitching. I didn't want to, if I could fix it in the beginning instead of dealing with it for another hour, I figured I'd go ahead and do that. So I guess you were talking about playing rock and roll music and playing in church and stuff. And I'm like you said, all of it starts to stem from the same tree, but I guess in a quick overview, how did you kind of get to where you are musically now?
Well, once I got to college, I actually got real into like R&B and soul. So I always grew up listening to like the stuff my parents liked, like Al Green, Prince, Michael Jackson, of course, like that stuff was all over my house.
Mm-hmm.
But I never really made it my own, it was just stuff that I heard, around the house. When I got to college though, that's when I went on that deep dive, man, and I got real into like Stevie Wonder, a lot of the 90s R&B stuff, and that became a huge part of what I was, doing then. And I just took a bunch of influences, and just kind of copied it like everyone does,
Mm-hmm.
And then, I've always just whenever I hear something, I'm like, okay, let me see if I can make a version of that for myself. This is how I've always been.
So when I was listening to your catalog today while I was at work, and I'm working, I got my earbuds in, so I'm not able to pay complete attention. But then the song that kind of stood out to me as far as sound wise was "Play My Hand." I know that was one of your latest releases, but I heard like John Mayer all over that. Well, in a lot of your songs, honestly, but that
Yeah, man.
is that somebody that you did you fall down that rabbit hole too?
Oh, of course.
Okay,
Yes, John Mayer's that was the reason why I picked up the guitar when I was probably about 13 years old or so. I heard a
okay.
John Mayer record, Heavy Things, and that record was really what got me into the songwriting and everything in general. And at the time, it was just it sounded fresh. At the time that was like some like cool different stuff. It was like singer songwriter, but it had like this pop thing, and I liked all that too. And that was a huge part of why I wanted to play guitar was that music.
What were you originally playing instrument wise? What kind of, I mean, where did it start?
I started as a drummer.
Okay.
I started playing drums first, which is funny. Yeah,
There's
and
a lot
I
of
was
people though.
okay.
It's not really that uncommon like we would think. We've talked to a bunch of people that started off as a drummer, then and kind of moved to something else. Whether it's just playing guitar enough to be able to sing their songs or whatever the case would be. But we've talked to a bunch.
Yeah, that's how I started playing drums. I wanted to be a drummer first, man. So I did that in school. I was in percussion,
Mm,
and I got all on the drums and stuff like that. But I liked guitar a little bit more. I liked because I wanted to write songs, so that was a big part
hmm
of it.
Well, Steve's not here, but we're still going to ask his question. You've mentioned writing your own songs a few times, so we'll make sure we ask this. It's called the pie question. All right, it's a musical pie. We divide it up into four sections. It is songwriting, performance, studio, and then everything else: the business, the socials, the booking, yeah, all that. Making sure that the van gets down the road, all the rest of the bullshit. Which one of those things is home for you?
It's home.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely I definitely would say like the songwriting and like introspection type thing,
Mm-hmm.
kind of I like to just like think about something or have a songwriting idea and flesh it out. But it's weird because it's not like I like the huge like being like super deep with my lyrics necessarily either though,
Right.
like in having this like storytelling aspect. I kind of like the idea of the combination of like melody and words. Like I like that a lot. And that's always been something that like I remember as a kid, like I would just randomly just sing about something or just make up a song about just something random, and that to me was fun, and it's always been that way.
So when you after you got a little older and started trying to play out or put together a band or whatever the case would be, your family, your parents were not surprised.
Yeah, because I always talked about doing like
Mm-hmm.
music. It was always something that I was like, I love music, and my parents they're always supportive of the music, and they're not musicians, so it was wild because they really were always open to me like whatever I wanted to do, whether it was like piano or getting a guitar. They were always like, yeah, just go ahead, try it out.
Hmm. That's cool.
Have the drum set in the garage, yeah. So
You got to put that in the garage.
yeah, it had to be in
Exactly.
the garage.
I know. Man, I grew up with my grandparents, and I wanted drums too when I was a kid. I played drums after I moved out and everything, but I couldn't get them until I had my own place. I wanted drums, and my grandfather was like, here's an acoustic guitar. Learn a Merle Haggard song, which
Yeah.
I appreciate now. But then I wanted it was the late '90s, early 2000s. I wanted to play some whatever Green Day and shit like that too. So, um, you were talking about you've met. I don't know, kind of listening to your catalog and some of the things you said. Your music is. It's kind of in a lane sort of, but you've also kind of got you're all over the place in that lane.
Absolutely.
Uh, and you can tell it's just because it's kind of what you're digging at the time, or the way the song is. You're playing for the song, or something like that. And then you were mentioning Stevie Wonder, and it made me wonder. It made me wonder. Um, as you kind of started picking up all these instruments and everything, and you listen back to music like that, do you pick up on things? I'm asking this because I did. Because originally I kind of listened to it and I liked it, but then after I started paying more attention, or I learned more, or got older, or whatever the case would be, I started hearing really how good, you know what I mean, how good of a musician like Stevie and those guys actually were. So the older you got,
Yeah.
did you pick up on those nuggets that you didn't hear when you were younger?
Yeah, I think that describes it perfectly, man. Because when you're young, you're just like, this is a cool song. Let's, you hear a song by, someone like Stevie Wonder, and it sounds simple, when you're a kid because it's so groovy and fun.
Hmm.
But then when you get older and like, are more into music and stuff, and you dissect what's happening, you're like, man, this guy's doing some crazy like stuff in this song that sounds so simple. What is this? I love that about Stevie.
And
So
it's harder, like when you are trying to create something, you're like, yeah, this is way more difficult than it sounded on,
yeah,
when pops listened to it when I was a kid. And so,
for
yeah,
sure.
that's. And also, I got as far as a bunch of vinyl and stuff, and when I really started going down the rabbit hole with the vinyl stuff, you can't, you don't want to get up to change songs. So that really made me pay attention to a lot more of all different kinds of music. And apparently, I got a siren going by, so my dogs are gonna howl. So, that's professional shit. That's what we do here. Uh, they like Stevie Wonder though.
Yeah.
No, just, I guess, just made me pay more attention to that stuff like that, because you know because you're picking out an album and you want to pay attention to it. So anyway, I went down those rabbit holes a bunch. But um, once you started actually playing out, um, when did you get the opportunity to play out in front of a crowd that wasn't at church?
Well, I did it in high school. So I had a high school band. We were called Heavy Heavy. And that was like, just like high school band stuff. You play at like the VFW or just like you know, I think we played at an old like elementary school gym. They had like a stage in there. And so that was what my first shows experiences were. Like, down there where I grew up, there was a super huge like heavy metal and like rock scene.
Hmm.
So it was weird. And like my band was not that at all. I was not doing that, but I was still playing shows and stuff. And it was this weird like mashup of, the stuff I was into at the time, which was like Fall Out Boy and
Gotcha.
like, other like rock stuff. But then after that, when I went to Texas State and San Marcos, I moved to San Marcos after high school. That's when I started playing around the bar scene, and that's when I started playing in New Braunfels and started meeting like a lot of those like the actual Texas country artists and just a lot of cool guys in the actual live music scene outside of
Hmm.
just my high school local scene. And
Right.
that's guys like Midnight River Choir, and from there I met
Love
Zach
those guys.
Wilkerson, guys like that. Yeah, so like that was my introduction to really playing out live, like as a musician.
Again, we were talking about this before we started this thing, and I tell Steve all the time how spoiled y'all are, that you can mention I can go see Bob and the Midnight River Choir, and then possibly Zach Wilkerson in the same weekend, if time, if it played out right, just to have the opportunities to go see musicians like that is yeah, y'all are the folks that don't go don't know what they're don't know what they're missing. Uh, I met Bob down all the River Choir guys at Jason Eady Festival in Mississippi, and they were all super cool and nice, and yeah, they were. And then when they played their own set, they were Edie's backing band during his sets, but then when they played their own sets, they were, yeah, they were top notch, and just super nice too. So
Yeah, dude, those were my dudes when I was getting started, man. Bob and Mitch, they were my backing band for a long time, and so it was I got to cut my teeth with those dudes, man. Playing at Billy's Ice in New Braunfels, man, all the time. They'll have like 5 years every Wednesday night.
I mean, how do you how do you kind of get to that point as far as you know you're in college and everything, but how do you kind of pick up, how do you go up to Bob Bob and Mitch and be like, yo, you know I need a rhythm section, and
Well, that's just a testament to how cool those
no, they
guys are,
are
though, too, man.
definitely.
Because I met them. I think what happened is Court Nance. I don't know if you ever know Court Nance. He's a friend of all of ours, but he had this gig at a Tavern in the Green in New Braunfels, and they were playing with him then. That I think that night, and so from there, man, like after that night, I feel like it was just like I was just hanging out with those guys
I
often,
mean,
and then from there, it was just not a big deal.
it's definitely a great match too, as far as uh just musically, anyways. Just going off of the one time that I've heard them, and then the music I listen to with you, because they're not straight down the middle, Texas country guys either. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah.
it's that's a great pairing for sure.
Yeah, I think that's why we kind of fit in with each other because they kind of knew, hey, like we're kind of doing a similar thing. They were definitely real cool about it.
Um, well, I want to make sure that we talk about this, and I don't want to get to rambling and talk about and kind of skip over it, but um, you got a speaking of perfect pairings, you got a extremely cool gig coming up this week, tomorrow, I believe, I think it's the 16th, if I remember right.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. And was Josh Weathers.
Yeah, over Josh over at Magnolia Motor Lounge. That's right.
That's is that your first show playing with Josh? No,
No,
it's
man,
not.
no, man.
Okay.
I played with him. I played with him a few times. Josh is real cool, really great guy, man. I just saw him not too long ago. We did that Caveman Festival
Okay.
out there in Weston, Colorado, and we played the same night out there, and that was great, man. Real cool guy, the real great band.
Yes, yes, soulful singer, and then it just I don't know, that just made sense. But when you're opening for somebody like Josh or anybody, honestly, that when there might be a few people in the crowd that know your music, but they're there to see somebody else, and you get the chance to do that opening spot. How do you view that? I mean, a lot of people look at it different. A lot of people look at it like not a competition, but sort of kind of. And then also, the opportunity of winning people over, or
Yeah,
there's all different ways to look at it. But
I think there's a mix of all that, yeah, as like human being for sure. I see it as like, man, I want to do well. I don't think it's ever where I'm like, oh, I'm trying to outdo the band,
mm-hmm,
but it's always like I want to make sure that the people who are there understand like that this band would only bring someone cool to open up for them.
right,
It's kind of like you're not gonna want to go see a band who has a bad opener. At least that's how I feel
I
about it. Like
understand.
I feel like a cool band would want to have a good opener, so I'd want to make sure that I solidify that.
And when you're up on, we ask this question quite a bit, but the answers vary from different folks. When you're in that position, like tomorrow night, and people start, their heads start bobbing, and they're picking up what you're laying down. They don't know you, but then after a little bit, they're starting to move around a little bit. You can tell that it's connecting. How is that from your point of view?
Oh, that's the best, man. That's what you want for sure. That's better because like I've had a range. I've had a range of reactions where sometimes you have reactions where you don't know at the end of the set how you did. So if you have some head bobbing, then yeah, that's good. So um, it's always different. I feel like, especially when you're getting started, because some people just like music that they've heard before. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of times.
Right.
So that's why I think a lot of people do covers all the time. Because it's way easier to just be accepted. Playing a cover song. But I think if your songs are strong enough, and if you could present yourself with strong stage presence, you could win some people over. You know,
Do you throw in any covers to kind of bring them back around after your
absolutely,
originals?
absolutely, man.
What are
Yeah, I
some of
do.
your covers?
I've done some. I'll change it up. Like,
Yeah.
let's see. Um, what am I doing tomorrow for the sick? I was thinking about it earlier. So I was thinking about maybe doing. I like that Keb Mo song. Am I wrong? You ever heard that song?
I'm not sure. I'll have to look.
Keb Mo. Am I wrong?
Uh,
I've been doing that one a lot. So I was thinking that one's real fun, and it's a cool like bluesy. I get to play
gotcha.
steel guitar on it.
All right. Okay. I thought I lost you for a second. Um, yeah. I mean, everybody's had to do that, right? I mean, like I talk
Yeah.
about we saw Jinx in Memphis with like 100 people, and that was during the Adobe Sessions album. So he was uh, starting to catch hold everywhere, not just in Texas, and he still played a couple covers, so. Um, actually I think he played like four, like, probably because he wasn't sure, yet.
Yeah.
But to
But I think I like the feeling of playing a cover sometimes though,
hmm
because it's nice to like play one and then people are just singing along, and it's almost like at that point like, okay, like this is gonna be a good night, they're having fun. So
hmm
sometimes a cover can do that.
All right. And then when those shows are over and new folks find your music and they come to the merch table and shake a hand and get to know you a little bit, how's that from your point of view?
Oh, that's the best too, man. That's when you get the stories, That's when you get the stories that you're gonna remember for real about the gig. Because the shows kind of blend together. The live music is always great, and I love that. A lot of times you're getting lost anyway in the moment, but the stories are actually like that. What happens, after the shows, and meeting the people and hearing, what the music does for them, and that's another reason why I love it.
I can apparently another. I mean, I live in the middle of nowhere, and I had two sirens go by, so who knows? They don't know that I'm trying to like be a professional in here and all that. Um, I can only imagine how what that feeling is like as far as I can relate it to this. When I got a text message a couple months ago from a tour manager, and they were playing a show in Huntsville, and it said, "Hey, this group come up and said they come to see us tonight because they heard us on your podcast." Like, and I wasn't there, but they texted me to let me know that happened, and I was like, "Hell, you know what I mean? It's fuel in the tank.
Yeah, I
It
agree.
makes you,
That's the stuff that keeps you going.
yeah." Definitely. I mean, I'm not. I mean, me and you were just talking or whatever, but it's still a lot of time involved, and yeah, it's just cool. And I was telling you about coming to Fort Worth and going to Stocktober and getting to meet all those artists at one night, and uh, um, and folks actually, they come to say, thanks. And I'm like, no, 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 you know what I mean? Thank you for coming. But either way, it's just one of those moments that makes you think makes you realize you're doing something worthwhile and keep on rolling.
Yeah, man. It's a mutual thing, right?
hmm
Like you want to provide something for them and then they're providing something, back about being there,
I mean,
and like listening in general.
yeah. I mean, I play, the redneck bar gigs and whatever, but so there's that. In when you're when you're in front of somebody, you got that, but through a computer, it's harder to tell. So those conversations are nice when they have a chance to happen. So, um, but you do have new music out there and more new music to come, right? Is that what you were telling me?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna record an album. Excuse me. I'm sorry, man.
Sorry.
I'm gonna record the album sometime in March, I think. That first week of March, we're gonna go to Rockport and record with a guy named Jeff Plankenhorn. He's gonna produce real awesome, steel guitar songwriter. It'll be a real
Okay.
good time. We'll do some songs out there.
Um, well, I mean, we're pretty much at halftime, so I was trying to get to the last one of the singles you released. What took you too far? You want to give us a little rundown on that, and then I'll play it, and yeah, we'll talk about it after the fact. What's
Yeah,
Can you give us a rundown on that song?
yeah. That song is about it's about a conversation, man. A conversation that I had one time when I said something that I probably shouldn't have said.
Gotcha.
Sometimes I feel like in conversation when you're going back and forth with somebody, you try to think of that one thing that's going to end it. You know, that
Mm-hmm.
finisher phrase or that one thing. And so that song is about that. And like once you say that finisher, the aftermath, what happens afterwards. And usually it's not a good thing. So that's kind of what I was trying to say in that song. It's about being thrown out.
Being thrown out.
Yeah, being thrown out after you said that thing too far. You said something.
After you inserted foot, right? Insert in the foot and
Yeah,
mouth.
insert your foot in your
I
mouth.
understand. Been there before, probably on this podcast. But all right, man. If you would hit your microphone thing, and I'm gonna play you a song and put the picture up, and you got a couple minute break here. Here we go.
Okay.
I took you too far, said some things I don't mean. Now I only see you on a cell phone screen. I took you too far, couldn't swallow my pride. Now it's just a loneliness I hide. 'Cause I took you too far. I took you too far the day I broke your heart. I took you too far. I pushed you away. Now I have to deal with that today. I took you too far. Didn't treat you right. Someone else's arms you sleep tonight. 'Cause I took you too far. Too far the day I broke your heart. I took you too far. Said some things I don't mean. Now I only see you in my dreams. I took you too far. Right over the edge. Hope one day I'll learn to love again. 'Cause I took you too far. Too far when I broke your heart. I took you too far. Too far when I broke your heart.
Yeah, man. So I was just, there's a couple things. I listened to this earlier today, and it's like, man, this reminds me of something and somebody, and I just couldn't put my finger on it, and then I heard it that time. But one, where did the Zydeco backbeat on that come in? Like, how did you follow on that for that song. I love
It's
it. I
funny
love
you
it. It's
said
one of
that.
the. It definitely sets the song off and makes it pop. But what? How did you get there?
Yeah, it's funny, man, because when I wrote the song, it had a whole different feel, and that happens to me a
Hmm.
lot. I'll have a whole different feel with the song. The groove will be different, sometimes even the chords. But that one, I think I just decided like just to give it a different feel. I think I was listening to some Ben Harper at the time, like some early Ben
that's
Harper stuff,
that's
and I was like, man, I want to get like something like a more that type of feel, like a Zydeco, like you said, or not. I don't want it to sound like a full on train country beat, but I want it to have what that feeling does, what that beat does, you know. Like so, that's kind of where it
makes you
came from.
move. Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, Ben Harper is who. That's 100%. Like when I was listening to that time, I was like, that's definitely got a Ben Harper flavor all over that.
yeah. Thanks, man. That's definitely who I was trying to knock you on that one.
That's that's crazy. Like I said, I listened to that a couple times earlier today, and it just didn't. I couldn't pinpoint it. And then in that time, I heard it. Not really like the. I don't know. There's a song of his, but that I was trying to think of. But all I could think of was "Steal My Kisses," and I know that ain't it. But it still got the. It
Oh
got still
man,
got the.
he has so many good
I don't
ones.
know.
I wish people knew like yeah, like some of his other stuff because "To My Kisses" is like it's like a for me it's like a skip. He has so many
Uh
other
huh.
ones, man, that are so good.
Definitely, definitely. Um, I need to go back down that rabbit hole tomorrow while I'm at work. I don't have an interview to study for, so I can listen to who I want to. I need to listen to some Ben. It's been a long time. Um, we were talking about your gig coming up tomorrow with Josh Withers. What how many gigs kind of around about are you playing these days per year?
Man, per year, I haven't even never I never even
Never
think
counted.
about it like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, because I never I have like last year we did like a full on tour like that was about 2 weeks. But most of the time, like most of my gigs are like Thursday through Sunday every week for the most part. I find it, I try to fill it out. So like this weekend, for example, I got the show on Friday tomorrow with Josh at Magnolia, and Saturday we're doing the Lukenbach Blues Festival. We're headlining out there. So like this weekend's a real busy one. The next weekend I'm playing out in let's see, this is 20. Playing out in Nova Soda. So like I'll have different gigs that I'll just do. It varies. We'll have like a festival gig, then I'll do like a solo gig, opening gig. Then I'll do a hotel gig. I'll play wherever I can.
Anywhere and everywhere. That's I think that maybe not the folks that are in Texas, but from us outsiders, there's a lot of different flavors of music there, and it takes a little bit before I get to the blues guys. It just if I'm thinking of Texas music right off the bat, it takes me a little while before I get to a lot of those guys. And but once you do, man, that tradition is pretty rich and pretty deep in Texas. So I'm not surprised that there's so many festivals and places to play, and I'm glad that there is because like even here, it's not as I don't know how to describe it. People don't respect what it is as much as they should. You go to Bill Street in Memphis, and you're still going to hear Journey and, and Purple Rain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
But that's here too,
I
Six. You
understand.
go to Sixth Street, yeah, you're gonna hear that too. It's the exact same music. There's pockets, of really good spots all over. Well, I think that's why I like New Braunfels so much. I always like New Braunfels because for some weird reason, like that town was like more open to just like the original music, singer songwriter than any town. At least when I lived over there in San Marcos, Austin has always been great. It's always gonna be a great place for music, but a lot of the great venues in Austin are going away. They're kind of disappearing. It's harder. There's still some really good ones though too. Antone, Sea Boys, stuff like that. Continental Club. Um, but Yeah, I think the music scene's spreading out in here in Texas too. It's not just going to be the big cities. I think it's going to all over.
Hmm. I haven't, yeah, I haven't really thought about that, but I could see that just as a really small example. My dad lives out in East Texas, a little bitty small town, and there's a music venue there now. It wasn't when he moved there, but maybe, I don't know, maybe 7, 8, 10 years ago. I don't know how long, but um, somebody local built one, and so now every now every now and then when we go visit, I'll check the lineup to see who's playing, and it could be Ray Wiley Hubbard or an ACDC tribute band or what, whatever the case would be. But it's in a little bitty, 800 population town, and it just stands out to me because we don't have shit like that around me.
Yeah,
And then they're just there's one in that town. Like, really? How can we not
yeah.
have something?
And sometimes those are like the best places to play though too, because people there are appreciative, and like they just want to hear, music because it's like you said earlier,
It's
like
the only thing there.
when the Texas, yeah, well, when the Texas bands come through, it's like everyone shows up because it's like we don't know when they're going to come back. So
Hmm.
that's a huge part of live music.
Well, we'll get I kind of some. I'm gonna stand the rapid fire thing a little bit and just kind of ask some questions about you a little. What's some hobbies that you got that's not music?
It's not music, man. I like to cook.
Do
I
you?
really enjoy. Yeah, I really enjoy. I bake bread. I love to make bread. Nothing better than some fresh baked bread, man, with some butter, some salt, man. I love that.
How pissed off you get when it doesn't do what it's supposed to do?
Well, I've done it enough now where
Okay,
I have it down to the science. But
gotcha.
I've made plenty of mistakes. But now I have it down. That's the thing. Making a bread is just like if you do it every way at the same time, you're gonna get some variations. But like if you stick to it, it's gonna be pretty good every time.
I got you. I got you. I just remember.
You gotta have scale though. You can't just be like measuring stuff. I mean, some people can eyeball it, I guess, but I like having a scale, getting the measurements,
I
precise.
got you. I got you. That's cool. I mean, that's some patience, right? I mean, that's paying a detail and patience to get there.
They got instant yeast now. It's not even that long now. You can just you can make something fast,
uh,
man.
Kids these days. Uh, I could imagine like you having this conversation with like your grandmother or whatever, and yeah, um, you got the interweb and that fancy yeast. What are some what's some of your go-to TV shows, movies? What do you are you a sports guy at all?
I'm not. I grew up playing football.
No,
I played all through high school and stuff. But man, I don't watch
there's
football. I
a
don't
lot of
watch
musicians.
sports.
That's why.
It's weird, yeah. Like I just don't like it. I don't like to watch it. A lot of my time, I like to just listen to music, play music. But some shows. You said
Hmm.
shows. I was really into recently. We've been watching Stranger Things.
I gotta kind of start back over. I watched I think through season 2, and then I kind of stopped, and now now everybody's like, okay, it's actually tying all back together, and it's really good. And I'm like, well, shit, I don't even remember. I feel like I gotta start all the way over. But
It was pretty wild. It got dark there for a minute. It got real dark there in that show. I mean, but I like real good. I like a good drama. You ever see that show Ozarks? I
hmm,
love that show. That's a good.
yeah, that was a
That's one of
good
my
one.
favorites.
Some crazy characters in that show for sure.
Yeah, see, I like the crazy character work. I like the arcs, watching things.
I've got some friends that live in Lake of the Ozarks, and they're like they were really sure if they liked it or not because it paints the town to be so crazy,
A bunch of hillbilly,
Yeah,
yeah, or like a bunch of hits and
they're like,
stuff.
there's a
Yeah,
lot of
man, it's
money
bad.
here. But anyway, you got to put it somewhere, and the name's got to be
Yeah.
good too. So if I I was thought of this question right as we were about to start. So the first time, believe it or not, if I was if I were dropped in from Mars or wherever, and you're gonna recommend me a blues or a soul R&B album, which where am I starting? If I ask you,
I would say definitely something Stevie Wonder. Let's see, probably "Songs in the Key of Life,"
okay,
just because it's like that's the one, man. For me, if you put that on, there's so many good songs on there. You know, "As" Sir Duke's on there.
hmm
Um, that's the one for sure. That would blow their mind. Sounds like the most like some alien music. Either that or some Earth, Wind, and Fire. Earth, Wind, and Fire would probably be cool too.
I got you, I got you. Um, if you were we can talk things into existence. If there's an artist out there that you haven't had the chance to open for that you would really love to be put on that bill, who are a few that you would say?
Man, there's a lot. There's so
I'm
many.
sure.
I mean, just the people we've talked about today. I mean, John Mayer. That'd be crazy.
Uh huh.
That'd be. You said bucket list, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be that. That would be up there. I can't think of many people. Ben Harper too. You know, we said both those people. You know, would be great. I like Dave Matthews. I think that would be a fun one. Like anything in that. I don't know. Like that's kind of like the world I always loved. Type of music. I've opened up for some great people too, though. Too. So it's like, man, I can't
I was
complain.
gonna ask
I
about
got to
that.
open up to.
Uh,
Yeah, I got to open up with Marcus King one
Hell
time,
yeah.
man. That guy's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Gales, I've opened up for Eric Gales. That was, I don't know if you've heard of
Oh yeah.
him. Yeah, I'm sure you have. Yeah, about to say,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
And
a
that's,
I maybe I mean I say shit wrong all the time, but I think I'm right that he is from this area. I think he is.
yeah, I think he's from
I think
Memphis. I
so.
think you're right.
I thought he was, and then I was second guessing myself. But yeah, yeah, he's kind of one of those top notch guys, isn't he? But
Yeah, man.
you were talking the folks that you name, like with Mayer and Dave Matthews and all that. I would imagine those crowds would be pretty receptive, if you know what I mean. They seem to be cool with just whoever it is, long as it's good and got a good groove to it. They would be pretty receptive to whatever.
Yeah, that would be cool, man. Those types of shows would be like, you get fans probably pretty quick, at least in front of a lot of people, you know?
All right, come on. I know that uh, John Mayer watches this podcast.
Right?
So
Come
get
on,
him on
John.
the come on, get him on the bill. If you were to start a podcast tomorrow, who's going to be your first musical guest?
My first musical
I mean,
guest.
and some of these
We
may be
probably
the
have,
same answer, and that's all right.
well, no, I feel like it would have to be someone that I could have a good conversation with,
Okay,
though, because I'd want to bomb the first time.
Bob.
So you know, and just have someone on there. Yeah, you say Bob.
Yeah,
Bob would be probably the like a lot of fun.
definitely.
I think that's a good option. I think that's it. I'm gonna go with Bob. You know, me and Bob have the same birthday,
Do
man.
you?
Yeah, we're both May 4th guys. So
So may
that's
the
always been
fourth
our
be
connection.
with you. Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right. All right. I did.
yeah. He's great.
Okay. Okay. Bob can be your co-host. Who are y'all talking to?
Yeah, are we talking? It could be. Does it have to be musicians, or it could
Well,
be like anybody?
whatever. It doesn't matter.
Because man, because I told you about the food, man, the cooking and stuff.
Okay.
So I might want to have like somebody on who could cook or
So
something.
you could actually pick their
Uh,
brain about it, right?
yeah, I want to hear like like Gordon Ramsay would be kind of interesting to talk to, man. I just feel like he'd be an interesting conversation.
Definitely.
Let's see,
I mean,
man, musician
to
wise,
be fair, when I met Bob, they were cooking.
yeah, dude, Bob loves to cook. He puts a yeah, he's always posting stuff that he's been making and stuff like that.
That's funny how that all of that kind of ties back around because he was in the kitchen and they I don't know how the situation worked but the during Edie's festival the bands are part of the kitchen crew. So the last year was Gabe Lee and King Margot and all these different folks, and then the night before is another group, and they flip flop. They did the same thing, and Bob and the guys were the cooks I don't know who was in charge, but they did a good
Yeah,
job. It was good. So,
yeah, they throw down, man.
and we still got to get them on this thing. That's for sure. I keep telling Steve that. All right, we'll do a couple more and then we'll wrap this thing up. I appreciate the time. And if y'all don't follow Aaron on his socials, please make sure you do. And wherever you stream your music, hit that follow button. We try to remind people that it's sort of a small business situation with independent guys, and they need the sales pitch in the numbers, So all of those streaming numbers, all of those saves and pre-saves and the follows. I mean, it's their resume. Unfortunately, it's part of the deal.
Yeah.
So, all right, what a venue inside of the state of Texas that you haven't got to play yet, a bucket list, and then one outside of the state.
There's a lot. I think Whitewater would be cool. I haven't played Whitewater Amphitheater. That would be great. That's just because it's the playing a lot of New Braunfels and stuff like that. That's one of the ones. It's just close. It's close, and it would probably feel like family to play there. I think that would be great.
Hmm.
Outside of Texas, I think Red Rocks. I've always thought Red Rocks would be cool.
We get that one quite a bit. We get that one quite a
Yeah,
bit. All
I
right, so
bet,
Dave
man.
Matthews, John Mayer, and Red Rocks all together. All right, we got that. All right, we're gonna make
Right.
and Ben Harper. Uh,
Man,
that's a hell of a
I
festival,
would
right?
just go to I would just go to watch that. Yeah, I
Exactly.
don't even have to play.
Yeah, man, you want to play first so that you can just go hang out and watch the rest, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, let me just play one song in the
Uh
very,
huh.
very beginning.
What was your first concert that you ever went to as a kid or whenever, and then what was your first one that you paid for? You picked it and you went.
Okay, let's see. First one ever. Probably BB King came to. I grew up in South Texas. BB King came there one time. He played at a stadium. It was a big deal. That was a big one
Hmm.
for me. I think that was probably one of the earliest ones I can remember. And then the first one that I paid for was probably a local show. Like there was this guy growing up named Levi Smith. He played a lot of here in Texas and stuff. Real cool, like guitarist. And growing up, like that was my first taste of like the independent music scene, and just like someone who was out there playing and like gigging and who was great, who wasn't somebody I saw on TV though. Was just somebody I saw that was gigging around. And so I went to go see him just because I was all about guitar at the time. So
Well, that's a good segue to a question that I forgot to ask. Top notch journalism over here. I want to know how you. I know a lot of your show and in your music is on the steel. I want to. How did you end up there? How did you find that sound or decide I want to try this?
yeah, and so like I didn't start playing the steel till maybe about 2 years
Hmm.
ago. I played slide, bottleneck slide style, like Derek Trucks was a huge influence. I love Derek
Gotcha.
Trucks and Ry Cooter, and I love that stuff. And then
He's
I started
underrated.
listening to
He gets
that.
overlooked a lot.
Dude,
Rye does.
Ry Cooter is he's my favorite man. He's my dude. I listen to a lot of his music,
Mm-hmm.
and I love him and David Lindley are really big influences to me. And that's how I got into slide in general. And then I decided that I wanted to try lap steel style because I got into the sacred steel stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Robert Randolph and all that stuff, and I just wanted to try it out, and just I loved it, man. I just thought it was a whole new way to play guitar. And then I didn't even we mentioned Ben Harper. I didn't even listen to Ben Harper growing up. I didn't even get into him till like maybe like last year, when I started doing the steel stuff, and then I was like, man, this guy's got great
You had
songs.
to kind of dive
So
back into it.
yeah, I had to dive into it because I had missed all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's so. How many instruments do you have to carry to carry to gigs to play all your songs?
Well, now I got a double neck.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, I have a double neck console steel that I'll bring. So that helps so much because I was bringing like three guitars to shows,
right.
four guitars.
Like, come on,
So
man,
now I just got to bring the double neck and then my regular guitar, and that's fine. I could get by.
and get by. I got you. All right. Let's see. Da-da-da-da. One more, and this is a different question, but you know you're a player, so I thought of this one while I was waiting when before we started talking too. So when I say we'll do two. When I say sad song, what's the first one that comes to mind?
Um, Dark End of the Street.
Okay. The do you? I'm trying to remember. The one I remember, I think, is by Percy Sledge. I think
Yeah, that's a
that's
good one. But the one I like
that's what I was trying to.
is
That's
we
what,
talked about
I'm sorry.
We talked about
Uh huh.
Rycooter. He does this version,
Okay.
and man, it's there's no lyrics. It's just the guitar, but it's so sad, but it's so beautiful, dude. I love that
I
song.
gotta check that out because oddly enough, the movie, the old '80s movie, Crossroads with Steve Vai and all of that.
Oh yeah, Ralph
Uh huh.
Macchio, Karate Kid.
That
Yeah,
soundtrack is what led me as a kid to Rye's music. And
yeah, because he played all the slide stuff
he
on
had
that.
that song down in Mississippi that like that I didn't know anything about anything, but I love that song. And then as an adult, I started like going back through it and found this stuff. All right, the last well, there's two questions, but this is the last rapid fire. When I again, this might be a stupid one, but when I say Strat, who is the first person that comes to mind?
Oh, Jimmy,
Okay. There's different.
Jimi
I mean,
Hendrix, man.
I mean, everybody. I was thinking like different folks would have somebody different would come to mind each person. So um,
Yeah.
that's cool. All right, all right. Well, Aaron, man, I appreciate the time. We got one more very final question. It is the most important question. It started as a joke on episode 1. It's still a joke, and we're still asking by popular demand. Everyone wants to know, what is your favorite Little Debbie snack?
Oh, I like the zebra cakes. I think those are probably the tops for me. I love those.
That's a good one. Good one. Good one. That's a very popular answer along with the Christmas tree cakes. So, all right.
Yeah, that's I like the Twinkies are great too,
Yeah,
though. You
but
know,
those are Hostess. We're trying to.
the
Yeah,
Hostess.
yeah,
That's what. See, I
we're
get
trying to get
confused.
a Little Debbie sponsorship since we're in Tennessee. See, but it ain't working so far right now. But maybe one day. Hostess, hey, if
Do
you
they
want
do
to,
Star Crunch? Who does the Star Crunch?
that's Little Debbie too.
That's Little Debbie. See,
Yeah.
that's a good one too.
It is. They got a bunch. But if Hostess wants to step up and sponsor the program, we'll drop Little Debbie like a bad habit. So come on, whatever. Um, but
That's awesome.
we're not that loyal. Um, all right, Aaron, man, I appreciate the time. Like I said earlier, if y'all don't follow Aaron on his socials, please make sure you do. When you see a post, interact, comment, let them know you let all these artists know that nobody, most artists don't like doing social media. So whenever they do, let them know you see it and go to a show. And when you go to that show, go shake a hand and buy some merch. Help them get down the road. I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but there's people that I respect, and they say that independent guys need that those interactions and those sales more now than ever. So, and I
100%.
again, I don't know all the details of that, but I believe them when they say it. So, go watch some independent music, shake a hand, buy some merch, and I guarantee you won't regret it. How was that? That pretty good?
That was great, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. We'll see you.
All right.